So I'm always trying to remember where I come from and who I am, because I'm a pretty eccentric person. But before this, I'm just trying to be my most professional self and utilize this wealth of knowledge I've collected. But before this, I'm just a busybody, always playing rhythms with my feet so that everywhere I go is a dance. Always singing a song so that my journey is a jam sesh. I am a soulful, big-boned swing band. But before this, I'm just an hermano, preoccupied with my baby sister's laughter, making sure that she's cackling Mexicana milagrosa, happy baby brown girl bubbly. But before this, I am a queer, built of the seer bones and epitomes of Spartans, who started wars only after they made love with each other. To them, a mother's kindness wasn't exactly battle-ready, but a comrade's devotion sure was legendary. But before this, I'm just the kitchen table inside of everyone's hearts. How we nourish each other with the food from the oven, shoving all the Sunday fun day into our belly. I love peanut butter and jelly, because it's one of the closest memories I have of me and my nephew, and that sticky mash of summer cartoons. But before this, I am Latino. Explico that I'm a chico niño, still too young to understand why I can't be loud in Spanish, why I am best tolerated in English, before people like Trump try to tell me that I am a criminal, with all the will to demoralize the fabric of American values. Setback told we plagiarized our identity, but he has never read my ancestors' codices. This, y'all, is how poison seeds get planted in both kids and me and my parents and the elders. We, a whole forest of rob trees, hacked and uprooted. But before this, I am saluted for this flexible tongue, shundo when I talk bilingual, as if a single one language can explain why we still use race as a target. But let's go ahead and get far from this, to a time when we didn't have laws to obey that were meant to keep us enslaved, sovereign of the laws of white men who never intend to get off the podium, as pandemonium makes us forget how far we've come, because before this, I was the Raramuri races in my great-grandmother's maternal mountains. I was the Spanish paternal blood my great-grandfather released like the running of the bulls. But even before this, I was Cro-Magnon, standing up against the whole mammoth, with nothing but my spear, my kin, believing we would win. But even before this, I was Australopithecus. See how many of you can actually make sense of this. As a species, we stood up and lost our footing, always putting our feet in our mouths. Didn't we notice the sounds that we make? How racial slurs actually sound like a rattlesnake on the ground. Did you just ignore the caution? To think before talking, to look before walking. Have we forgotten the caves we crawled in? Because before this, we were all human prey. So instead, we prayed. We who know how to make good with our magic. Tragic how we forgot the gods within. How to turn pain and lust into faith and trust. We who burned all the Palo Santo wood. Because before this, we just withstood whatever this world would try to hurl at our face with this pace like it's trying to kill me and all of my siblings. But even before this, I know I was just God's tear, sent down right here. This is the language of turmoil. We who turn the soil in our poems to plant the seeds, to make the oxygen we breathe. So before this, I am a wind mystic. Before this, I'm not gonna give myself over to stories that ignore me. I have always been this big. I have always navigated myself typhoon. I have not and will not forget that I've always been a monolith. So before this, I just had to tell you that I know the risk and the stakes of losing this. So I cradle it. Because before this, I'm just trying to understand where I come from and who I am for myself.